In Excel, Power Pivot is the tool for building advanced pivot tables, where we can create relationships between multiple tables and write calculations using the DAX formula language. And if we do it properly, it can take a bit of time to get everything set up. And that brings us to the big issue. The Power Pivot data model is workbook bound. It only works within that workbook, which means we can't connect to the data model from another workbook. And if we copy the output to a new Excel workbook, it creates a whole new siloed instance of that data model. So how can we create a central location that all of our reports can update from? Well, that's what we're going to do in this video. So if you're ready, let's get started. Here in this workbook, we have a pivot table which is created using Power Pivot. If we click on the slicer, the values change. We can also change our report view from profit and loss to balance sheet, and as you can see, everything updates. Now this is a Power Pivot backed pivot table. If I go to the data ribbon and then go to the data model and select manage data model, that will now launch Power Pivot. And if I click diagram view, we can see the data model which underpins this report. Now let's suggest that I want to use this same report in another workbook. I'm going to close Power Pivot. If I right click on my report and go to move or copy, let's add this to a new workbook and I will create a copy. I'll then click OK. This now adds the pivot table to this new workbook. However, it's also duplicated everything else. If I go to data and then queries and connections, you can see that we have each of our data sources. Not only that, it has duplicated some of those tables. Also, if we go to Power Pivot and the data model, if we look in the diagram view, you will notice that we now have a duplicated version of this data model. It's created a siloed version. It's not connected back to the original data model. So let's close this Power Pivot. I will also close the workbook, and I don't want to save those changes. So how can we get our Power Pivot data model into a central location so that we can create multiple views from just that one data model? Well, to do that, we're going to use Power BI. I'm going to start by closing our Excel workbook, and I have a blank Power BI report open. I want to import our Power Pivot data model. To do that, I'll go to File and then click Import. In there, we have four options. We want the last option, Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. I'll select that. I then navigate to our Excel workbook that contains our Power Pivot data model. I'll select that and then click Open. Power BI displays this warning message. We don't work directly with Excel workbooks, but we know how to extract the useful content so you can work with it in Power BI Desktop. I'll click Start. This is now going to duplicate our data model and queries inside Power Pivot. I'll then click Close. On the right-hand side, we can see our tables. And if I go into the data model view, you can see that we have the tables that made up our data model. If at any point we want to re-import the Power Pivot workbook, we can go through that same import process and it will replace what is currently in the Power BI file. Now, before we can publish this, we need to save the file. I'll go to File and then go to Save As. Once again, we need to navigate to the relevant location, and I'm going to save this as 0330 Excel plus Power BI. I'll then click Save. We can now publish this data model to the Power BI service. At the top, I'll click Publish. Do you want to save changes? I'll click Save. It then asks me which workspace I want to publish my report to. I'm going to select Example and then click Select. This will now publish my data model into the Power BI service. You can see that that has been successful, and I'll click Got it. So if I were to go and look in the Power BI service, I would see that my data model is now available. For this example, it's not about using Power BI. We're using Power BI as our single source of truth so that we can connect all of our workbooks to it. And that's what we're going to do next. We're now in a new Excel workbook. There is nothing in this workbook at all. We are starting from scratch. I'll go to Insert, and then in the drop down for Pivot Table, I can see From Power BI. I will select that. On the right hand side, it's now connecting to my Power BI workspaces. I'm going to search for Excel. That will now look for my Power BI data model, and it's found it, which means I can now insert a pivot table and also insert a table. Initially, we're going to insert a pivot table. It's asked me to select an account, which I will do. And now it has created a pivot table from the data which is contained in Power BI. We're now going to build our report using the data model which exists inside the Power BI service. All of the elements I'm showing in this section are specific to my data model. When you do this, you'll have different items from your data model. So whatever you want to achieve, it must exist within the original Power Pivot data model. It's then brought into the Power BI service for us to reuse. So let's create our same Power Pivot report. In the values, I want primary, comparative, and primary versus comparative. I want comparative in the filter section. As I scroll down, in the layout, I want to add heading into the rows, and then the report also into the filter section. And then finally, I want to add primary into the filters section. Let's also add a slicer. So I'll select inside my pivot table, then I'll go to slicer, and we want a slicer for the end of month. I'll then click OK. Let's select one of those months. Let's go for December 2022. Now currently this doesn't look exactly the same as our previous report. So let's start to make some of the changes. Our report should be a profit and loss account. The primary value should be the actual, and then the comparative value should be the budget. So that's got the values. Let's now start to format this. I'll right click on the pivot table and go to Pivot Table Options. Under the Layout and Format tab, we don't want to format the column widths. Under Totals and Filters, we don't need either of the grand totals. And finally, in Display, we want to show items with no data on rows. I'll then click OK. That's now created the layout for our report. There's still a few more things we need to do. Let's rename primary to actual. Let's rename comparative to budget. And then primary versus comparative can be variance. Let's apply some number formats to each of these fields. We've now got our initial layout, but the area we're missing is the formatting. In Power Pivot, it was applied using conditional formatting, but we need to work out how to apply an equivalent technique when we're using the data model inside the Power BI service. I just want to interrupt things here to say that if you've watched up to this point, then you really should consider subscribing and getting notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. Go on, click that button down there. It just takes a few seconds to click and you'll get loads of benefit from our future videos. So now, let's get back to it. To apply different formatting to each row, there was actually a table incorporated into our original data model which showed how to style each heading. That table now exists inside the Power BI data model. So let's go and add that table into our workbook, and then we can use that to apply the conditional formatting. I'll click on the Power BI icon, and then I'll go to Insert Table. All of the values that we need are in our Layout table. I will expand that. All we need is the heading and also our style. So that tells us how we should format each heading item. I'll click Insert Table. This now adds a new table with the values from Power BI. We're now ready to use this table to format our report. I'll come back to our pivot table. Initially, I will select all of our pivot table fields, and I'll go to Conditional Formatting and New Rule. If we have this section at the top, it means that the formatting is applied to the pivot table field. Therefore, no matter how many rows or columns we have in our pivot table, the formatting will be applied to all of them. We want to apply this using a formula, and we're going to use XLOOKUP equals XLOOKUP. We want to look up the value from column A and starting at row 6. So we need $A to fix the column, and then row 6 to move down each row. That's the value that we want to look up. We want to look that up from, we're going to head back to our table. We're going to look it up from our heading column, and we want to return the value from the style column. I'll close the XLOOKUP, and we want to check where that is equal to total. I can now format these cells. I'll click Format. We want the font to be bold, and we want a border of top and bottom. I'll then click OK and OK again. As you can see, the formatting has been applied to the pivot table fields. We now need to apply the formatting to the pivot table row headers. To do that, we need to select a range which is bigger than our pivot table will occupy. I'll then go to Conditional Formatting and New Rule. You'll notice the section at the top is no longer there. That means the formatting is applied to the individual cells. Once again, we want to use a formula, and this will be the same formula, equals XLOOKUP, opening bracket. We want to look up $A6. We want to look that up from our table from Power BI. We're going to look up the heading, and we want to return the style. We want to check where that is equal to total. And then we will format once again. The border is top and bottom. The font is bold. I'll click OK and OK again. And now that formatting is applied to the row headers. Let's change our report. Rather than profit and loss, let's change this to balance sheet. As you can see, everything expands and updates accordingly. When we select new months, everything recalculates based on the values which are available inside our data model, which is stored in the Power BI service. So what this means is that the data model doesn't exist within the workbook. It exists outside the workbook. Therefore, when the data model, which exists in the Power BI service, updates, we just have to refresh Excel and it will bring all of those changes into our workbook. And because our data model exists in the Power BI service, we get the other benefits which Power BI provides, such as row-level security to ensure each person only sees the data that they are allowed to see, and also scheduled refreshes to keep our data up to date automatically. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.